everybody, and welcome back to Spooky Things. Hope you guys are having a good week so far. It's just the very beginning of the week. Um, we have a fantastic guest tonight. I would like to introduce to everybody Brett, the Big Schwag Wagner. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Brett.
Hey, you said that pretty good.
Thank you. That's unusual for me. Okay, so I got to know, how did you get the name the Big Schwag?
A former adult film actor. No. I used to do pro wrestling, and that was my name in the pro wrestling world, the Big Schwag. And then I got on the TV show Monster Garage, and we just carried it over onto that show as the Big Schwag, trying to brand myself, and then it kind of just stuck.
Well, that's cool. Um, I've been looking at. I mean, you've been on so many shows. I'm just amazed how many shows that you've been on. There's quite a few on there, Brett.
Yes, I've been acting for 30 years. So if you're going to be in LA and you're a character actor, you will eventually acquire a lot of shows.
Right. Well, you certainly have, and I mean they're impressive ones too. I mean, of course, one of the shows is, of course, I mean, Chainsaw Massacre. Um, Tell me about that. I mean, that's fascinating.
Well, I do the first kill in the 2000. I was cast as Leatherface, and
Mm-hmm.
I got a weekend of shooting. I got heat stroke, but I do the first kill in the 2003 remake. I killed Kemper with the sledgehammer and drag him in through the house and slam the door shut, made famous by Gunnar Hansen. And then I got heat stroke and I got replaced. So there's another guy that comes in to do all the chainsaw work. But and I didn't talk about it for many years. But then the magazines were, maybe 7 or 8 years ago, kept calling and saying, "Hey, weren't you Leatherface?" And so yes, so yeah, so that was fun to do. I mean, I'm very good friends now with our director 20 years later, and the DP, Daniel Pearl, who also worked the camera on the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 1974. So
Wow.
it's fun.
It is. It is. I mean, that's just fascinating to know. That really is. So, but I was reading that it's like you're considered the lost Leatherface.
Yeah, so the fans didn't know there was another guy that was originally cast and did that first kill. And I don't think the guy that replaced me was letting anybody know there was someone else. So, yeah, the magazines talked about it, and then people were like, "Oh, he's the lost Leatherface," because we didn't know. So that kind of stuck, and then people, a lot of the fans call me the lost Leatherface. So
Well, that's cool. Yeah, that I mean, the wonderful thing is that you do get that recognition that you needed to do that, and
yeah,
that's so great that people are like, yeah, he's the one that did that.
yeah.
He's the
For a
one
long time, I didn't
that's
like
always
talking
really
about it because I was very embarrassed that because when I got the heat stroke, my back tightened up, and there was no way it was going to take a week probably for it to heal. And a $20 million movie, they don't have the time to wait a week for one of their main actors to heal up. So I understood about the replacement, and it's just nice that I do a lot of conventions and I travel around, and the people are very receptive to it. So it's nice to get that that little credit. So
absolutely. But I mean, you were also on Buffy.
Buffy and Angel, I've done about 3 or 4 episodes of those. Yes.
Wow. Okay, see, so many people I know. I mean, they like the Chainsaw Massacre, of course, but when you say Buffy, they're like, "Oh, Buffy? He was on Buffy?"
Yeah, I think season 6, the very last episode, I play a truck driver, and I'm in the very last scene, I believe, of season 6. Matter of fact, I think that they even write about it in this Buffy the Vampire Slayer 20 Years of Slaying the Watcher's Guide, which was someone brought this to me. It had me sign one. So then I had to go.
That's
My wife
good.
got me one for Christmas because it's kind of cool to be in a book where they talk about you. But I've done, like 130 different films and TV shows. And, most of it is not horror related. So, but I do like to, work in the horror business. So,
It's fun, isn't it? It is. It's just a lot of fun. We really enjoy it. We haven't done half of the stuff that you've done. And of course, we cannot leave out. So many people are going to be like, "Oh man, Sons of Anarchy." You were on Sons of Anarchy.
I was. I
Tell
was
us
on
about that.
season 1, episode 3, and that was a fun show to do. A couple of my friends are on there. Kim Coates, who was a buddy of mine, who played
Hmm.
Tig on the show, and it was nice to be able to see him. And if I probably would have said no to the part and waited for a much juicier role if if I would have known how big that show would have been. But you never know how big a show is going to be, and you're just lucky,
Right.
thankful to be working as an actor. And I got paid pretty good for the week's work I did on the show, and it's I'm happy that that show blew up and for everybody, and it's a good thing.
It is a very good thing. Yes, it is. I that was probably one of my favorite shows. It was so sad to me, but it was so darn
Well, it's
sad
not
there.
really so.
But
As sad as it is, you never see Charlie Hunnam die. And from what I hear, that they may be bringing that show back. So
I
there you
had
go.
read
Don't be
something
sad.
about that too. Yeah, I know. I had read something about that too, and I thought, no, could they really do? Well, I guess they could. They can do anything they want, but I'd be watching it.
And
It
I,
was
I
fun to
technically I never died, so it would be great to see if they can give me my Johnny Yates character back and let me be a little evil.
watch. That'd be fun.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's just simply fascinating. It really is. I really enjoyed reading up a lot of the stuff that you've done, and it's very diverse. You really done some really diverse roles, very very different from the other ones, and that's always fascinating to me. Um, do you have anything coming up that? Well, actually, you're a professional wrestler,
Well, I was a
right?
professional wrestling manager, so I was like Bobby the Brain Heenan or Jimmy Hart, Mouth of the South, and
I
that's what I
remember
did
all
in the
those.
business. I worked for a company in the minor leagues for the WWF back in the day and called Ultimate Pro Wrestling in California.
I remember.
We had
I
help
remember.
starting guys like John Cena, Samoa Joe, and a whole slew of other guys that are doing very well. And, it was fun for a while, but I'm such a big guy that the WWF didn't think thought I was too big to be a manager. But I got to work with a lot of great guys. I got to work with Triple H, and when they would come to our school and our smaller shows. And, that was part of the deal when you're a minor leagues for them. They got once in a while, we get a guest coming in, Triple H or Chavo Guerrero or Diamond Dallas Page. In fact, I was just over the weekend was with Diamond Dallas Page and his wife in Louisiana at the Louisiana Comic-Con. So it was good to reconnect with them. And yeah, the wrestling business is great. I still love watching it. It's if you're not making money on TV, it's tough to stay in it.
I haven't kept up with it for years now, for several years now. Um, when I was watching it, we were watching like Macho Man with Elizabeth, and oh, what was the name of that big guy? Um,
Andre the Giant.
that's the one. Yeah, and yeah, those are the days that we were. Of course, then again, there was Triple H there. Diamond Dallas Page was there. I mean, I think they came a little bit after some of those too.
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah, I haven't kept up with it for years, so it's been a
Yeah, it's
long time
listen,
since I
it's
watched.
still a very fun. It's it's still a fun sport. It's still a fun TV thing to watch, and it's I loved it as a kid, and I've always tried to do for something I love. I'll
Right.
get a lull in my career or my life, and then I'll I was like, man, maybe I could try wrestling at 30 years old, and so I did it for 5 years, and well,
Now, what'd you
doing
do
that.
first?
Well, I've been acting since I was 21, so that and doing bodyguard work for bands and working all the big clubs in LA for many years in Hollywood until I was started to make enough money that I didn't have to do that.
Okay, so you were involved with wrestling first, and then
No,
you eventually. No, no,
no. I
you were.
started wrestling at 30. I was started being an actor at 21.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
yeah. So the acting always came first, wrestling second. Well, I started doing the wrestling. I was the voice of a TV show, Monster Garage, on Discovery Channel with Jesse James. So I did that as well.
Hmm.
So I was making money at that. I was making a little money doing some acting here and there. But then I was traveling around because of the TV show Monster Garage. I was traveling around doing a lot of car shows and bike shows, and I was making ends meet so I could do the pro wrestling, which I didn't make any money doing it. So
Now,
it's got to be a
you
labor of
so
love if you like wrestling. You have to
yeah,
really love it because it's tough to make money at it, and unless you
I know that feeling.
get really really good and you're on TV, it's very very tough to make a living at it.
Yes, so many of us experience that. It's got to be a labor of love. I know. Um, I mean, it's just really very interesting though because the Monster Garage that you were talking, I used to love watching that because I have a motorcycle, and I used to think all the time, oh man, it'd be so nice if I just, you know, just really customized this and just really made it beautiful. And I used to sit there and look at that and just watch them do all that stuff, and it was like, man, what I wouldn't do to have my bike look like. Because I got a Harley, I got a Harley 1200, and I thought, oh yeah, I'll just do that. And I realized how much it would cost. It was like, no, it works just fine, just the way it is. We're
Yeah,
not going
it's
to do that.
you can spend a lot of money on your Harley. So
Yes,
I've
you
been
can.
probably through since I've been with my wife for 13 years. We've been together, and I've probably gone through 10 bikes, at least 10 or 11 bikes, and so you buy a
God
bike and
love
then
her.
you run out of money and you sell it, and then you buy another bike, then you run out of money and you sell
Hmm.
it, or you try to trade two bikes for a newer bike. And I worked very hard last year on doing a lot of conventions. So I bought a newer bike, a 2023 Road Glide Limited. So
Okay.
hopefully that'll be the last time we buy a bike. So
Your wife is hoping for that, I'm sure.
oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got the bike. We got it where we want it right now, right? So it's all blacked out or murdered out as they call it, and it's just a beautiful bike. And I got it from my buddy's Harley dealership, Robert Patrick, the actor who was in Terminator 2 and a whole slew of TV shows and movies. So he owns a dealership up here in California.
Oh, okay. Like, were you near where everything was going on with all those fires and everything?
Yeah, well, if you live in Southern California, you're always, if you live in the LA or outside of LA, you're always near the fire. So my
Yeah, we
co-host,
had another.
I do a show called Killing Time, Killing Time Experience with Felissa Rose, who's quite a famous horror movie actress and very good friend of mine. So we do a show. So she got evacuated. Uh, she's like 7 miles from me. So we didn't get evacuated, but she did. But everything is all right. Yeah, the Pacific. The problem is our state is run terribly, and they don't really care about fixing any of the overgrowth that's happened for years, and then we have a bunch of crazy folks that are hanging out, and when one fire goes, then these guys start lighting fires everywhere. So that is the problem. There probably were 6 or 7 fires in a matter of 2 weeks, but there was 5 of them were started by people. So
It's ridiculous, but yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, and there are people that um, just lost horribly some really amazing, mementos that they had.
Yeah, well, the Pacific
And
Palisades got destroyed completely. So you got to think, I don't know, 2,500 homes and businesses and something like that. I have a friend who built a house and out there, and his wife was complaining because they built it out of concrete. And she's like, "This is the ugliest place. Why are we doing concrete?" Yet, because he built it out of concrete, that's the only house for about 5 blocks that survived. But the only problem is now even though it saved all their mementos and none of their stuff got damaged besides smoke damage. They're probably never going to be able to move back in there for at least 2 years because of the soil and everything else and the damage. And so,
oh my
you
gosh.
know, but it's tough. But that's living in Los Angeles. So so you take the chances if you live out here in California that's going to happen. So
Yeah, it's similar to us being over here like I'm in Florida, and I'm like in the panhandle of Florida, and we have to deal with the blasted hurricanes that come through here. And I've been blessed enough to have been through 2 of the bad ones. Of course, we had Hurricane Michael that came through here in, I think, 2018, right smack dab over the top of our house, of course. But before I moved up here, I used to live down south of Miami in Homestead. And Hurricane Andrew went through there in 1993, I think it was, 92 or 93. Right smack dab over the top of our house. We were in the center of it. So I moved away from Miami, Homestead area, to get away from hurricanes. I didn't do that very well. I came up here and then Michael hit us. I'm like, ah, crap. But so I know what you mean, though. It is a terrible risk that you take in order to live in a place that's very nice. But when it hits, it hits, and there's just nothing you can do about it. Hang on to your butt and hope for the best. About it. But it really made me feel really bad when I was reading an article, and I forget what the lady's name is. I can't remember it right off the top. But of course, their house was involved in the fire. And when they had gone to look through everything, they found an Oscar that they had lost in the fire. The remains of the Oscar
sure.
that was. And I was like, "Oh my God!" I mean, that is something that's irreplaceable. That's just not something you can have made back again. But it turned out it was her, if I'm not mistaken, her grandfathers or her fathers or grandfathers. So it made it even more critical that she could have salvaged that somehow. I don't know if they can probably refurbish it or whatever, who knows. But just the thought of it laying in what was left of the debris of their home is just sickening. It's just heartbreaking. And I thought, oh my God, it's just, these people's lives were just turned upside down over some idiot starting a fire, not to mention 5 of them. But I don't know. It's just crazy. So, but that's all over and done with. So thank God on that. You've been doing a lot of traveling with the Paracomicons and horror cons and stuff like that.
Horror cons and Comic Cons, yes.
Horror cons and Comic Cons.
Yes. So anything
Um,
that horror related, or if it's a Comic-Con, a lot of the Comic-Cons now do a crossover where they bring in some horror movie actors. So
mhm.
it's a lot of fun. It's good. It's. I mean, I don't like traveling as much as I do. I mean, I'm in Milwaukee this weekend. Then I
Oh
go to
wow.
Beaumont, Texas. Then following weekend, then I got a week off, and then I go to Cleveland, and then I go film a movie in Vegas. Then I go to Tennessee, and then it's just a consistent. I'll average like 30 different conventions a year. So
That's a lot.
then trying to do our TV show as well, our YouTube channel show. So
You
like
keep
I'm
busy.
leaving Thursday early in the morning, but tomorrow we got to do 2 episodes of our show. So while packing and making sure I got everything in order.
Not like doing 10 things at the same time.
That's what it is. But I'm going to be doing, in fact, that's why I think we're on this show, because we get to talk about, I'll be in Ozark, Alabama.
Yes, sir. And we are so excited that you're going to be there. I mean, we are just thrilled to have you there. Um, yeah, this is our 4th year, and it's just, Brett, it's been interesting watching it grow, from the very start of it coming up to where it is at now. And we have met some of the most amazing people that come to the shows. And so we
I
were
believe
just
you had
absolutely thrilled.
I believe you had a friend of mine there last year, writer, stuntman.
Yes, I think that we very
Yes,
Bill Perry.
yes, William Perry.
I'm telling you, he's so much fun. Oh
He
my
is.
goodness. He just he's
Yeah,
so
so
much fun.
I mean, I'm excited to come. I think it's. I've only done the only time. There's very few. There's a couple places you can go in Alabama. I think there's an Alabama Comic Con in Birmingham. I've signed at Atrox Factory, which is a big haunt for like 25 years in Leeds, Alabama. So that's always fun, and that's a cool thing to do. But well, we're gonna roll the dice and come and hang out with you guys there in Ozark, Alabama. So I'm looking
Absolutely.
forward to it.
Bill had a good time.
Yeah, he did. He said he had a great time. He said the people are the salt of the earth, the nicest people, which is great. So, I mean, and I'm sure there hasn't been a Leatherface in Ozark, Alabama ever. So we are excited to come there and bring some cool stuff to have for the fans and for the folks and
Oh,
see what's going
they're
on in
gonna love
Ozark.
they are just gonna love it. Um yeah, we do. We have a great time. And Bill was talking about, I don't have to eat what was it? They were telling him that he's gonna have to eat squirrel. He's like, I
Well,
don't
see,
think I
Bill
want to.
doesn't understand. Bill doesn't see. I'm I've been a spokesman for a lawnmower company for 21 years called Bad Boy Mowers, and I've had squirrel. I love squirrel and eggs in the morning. Scrambled eggs is wonderful. Bill doesn't know what he's missing.
No, I think Bill knows exactly what he's missing and he wants to keep it that way. But
Yes,
and
squirrel can be tasty. My dog likes squirrel, but my dog usually, unfortunately, kills them. So
yes. Well, he was freaked out about the squirrels, and then he was like, "Well, you know what? Yeah, you can always try them." And I said, "Oh, you think that's good? They've got a possum festival that goes on down here too." And he was like, "I just don't think I can get past the squirrel."
yeah, possum jerky is great. I love.
Oh,
I mean,
you
listen, everything is edible if you season it right.
yeah. I think you'd have to put a whole lot of seasoning on it for me to even think about it. But I know some of the because I live like really rural. I mean, I live like super rural, and some of my neighbors around here, uh, it's like if it moves, they'll eat it. You
Yeah,
know.
And that's the way it should be.
Is it?
Well,
I
let's
don't
tell the
know.
folks at home a little bit about what they're going to see in Ozark, at this wonderful paranormal con we're doing.
Well, we've we're just having all kinds of things. We're having everything from the haunted house. We had a haunted house for the first time last year. Now I don't know if they're going to be calling it the horror house or the haunted house, or what they're going to be doing. But lots of vendors. We have another guest that's going to be here that you might be interested in, Ken Gerhardt. If you're familiar with Ken Gerhardt, he was with William Shatner on Unsolved Mysteries. Um, he's a cryptozoologist,
Ah,
and yeah, he's going to be there. Of course, Lee Triana Brown, who was on the Hulu show Repossessed, is
okay.
going to be there. Um, oh gosh, there's just I don't even have my thing here, but it's going to prove to be a very, very good show. And of course, it's August the 9th and the 10th in
And we're
Ozark,
raising
Alabama.
money for.
The Boys and Girls Club. That yeah, most every year I think that it's been done. It's always been for the Boys and Girls Club. So the proceeds are going to go to that.
And that's an awesome
And they're
thing.
very it is, and they're very grateful for it, and that's what's so wonderful. I mean, it doesn't matter how much or how little they get; they're just so grateful and so appreciative of everything, and it's just it's a joy doing it, for them. Um, so it's on Saturday and Sunday. Of course, the biggest day is Saturday, probably, and yeah, everybody just has a really good time, and we we try to fill just about as much as we can for everybody to make it as interesting for everybody. We have things for kids, we have things for the younger people, we have things that older people enjoy to do. So we try to keep it as diverse as possible. And the result is that everybody has a really good time. And
Yeah, that's awesome. And then Kate, you bring in a few actors like Leatherface, Brett Wagner, which is great. And we're gonna have pictures, and I'll have masks, and
oh,
we'll
they're
have
just going to love
mini
that.
sledgehammers to sign, and so we'll have a bunch of cool stuff for the fans, and it should be a wonderful time. Now, hopefully, uh, Stan will be in a good mood. The guy that runs it, right? I can say Stan is the boss who puts it all together.
Stan and Teresa are the building blocks of this whole
Good,
thing.
good, good.
They
Yes.
really are. Stan and Teresa are the
He's
building
easy on
blocks.
the eyes, folks. He's easy on the eyes. That's all I can tell you about Stan.
Stan's a trip. You heard what happened to Stan, right? With his finger.
I did not.
Oh,
Does he want you to tell people?
oh yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't care. He he was at his job. He was at work, and he said he couldn't do anything. It just happened so quick. He literally watched it happen, but his hand went right into the slicer, and it took the whole top of his finger off, his ring finger. Took the
Oh,
whole top of
ouch.
the finger off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's been, you know, working with that, and
Well,
the doctor.
that's well. I'm glad he's got his finger or his hand back functional.
Thank God. I mean, I was
So,
shocked when I heard about it.
if the folks want to know more about this convention on the 9th and 10th of August, what do they have to do?
Mhm. Well, they can go to the website, the Deep South Paracomic-Con website, and it's got everything that's going on, the people that are going to be there, and how much the tickets are, and they got numbers there that they can call if they have any questions or whatever they want to do. What programs are going to be shown? What I'm sorry. Um, who's going to be doing the talks that are going to be there. I know Ken is going to be doing a talk on cryptozoology, and Lee Triana and Matt always do really, really good seminars. Whether it's having to deal with children or having to do with, investigational skills and how you can do them really well, and just all kinds of tips and suggestions. Really have some good things coming on. So, but on the website, it will state all the webinars that are going to be going on, or the shows that are going to be there. There's going to be things going on the stage as well as in the classrooms in the back. So there's quite a bit going on. They're also going to have a costume contest, and it's really interesting to see what people come up with. It really is. I mean, they really can get creative. So we're going to be doing that as well.
That's
And
awesome. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna. Well, we're gonna talk. I've been talking with Stan. Maybe we'll do some full Leatherface costume photo ops. We're just trying to see if it'll work. So we do.
oh,
That's
they
a
would
big.
love
That's a
that.
big deal at a lot of the conventions nowadays. But I'm
Yeah.
excited to come down the 9th and 10th of August, and it should be
Oh,
fun.
so many people that I've told them that you're going to be there, they're like, no way, no way, really, seriously. I'm like, yeah, yeah. You got to come down and you got to check Mr. Wagner out, because it is going to be fascinating. And I told him the same thing. He's going to have a lot of his stuff there, and you're going to be able to get his autograph. You're going to be able to get pictures with him. He's going to be right there where you can talk to him. Oh my gosh, it just went over so well. So you are definitely, many, many people are going to be very excited about seeing you there.
Well, I'm excited to be coming down.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Um, get a little. Have you ever been in this particular area?
I have not.
No.
I mean, how far? Yeah. I don't. If I've been to, like I said, I've been to Birmingham. That's about it. And then Leeds, Alabama, and then that's. My buddy owns a restaurant called Rusty's Barbecue in Leeds, Alabama, which is an amazing place. Me and Charles Barkley eat there. So every 10 years when I get back out that way, I go stop by and have lunch at Rusty's Barbecue. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, that is north of us. So we are, even further south. Ozark is about, well, it takes me about an hour and a half to get there from my place in Marianna, Florida. So
gotcha.
it's yeah, it's right there by the state line. It's not far off of the state line at all. So you're pretty far down there. Um, who knows? You might even want to go down towards where the beaches are, down in Panama City. It's not that far away.
Now, if I had the time, I would. That would be wonderful. But we're not gonna. I'm. That was my one. It was just so happened that was my one weekend open, and Stan had
Oh,
been talking with me on Facebook, and I was getting back to him, and then we kind of didn't chat about it. And then I'm like, well, I got that weekend open, and I'm smart enough when I chat with somebody, I'll write it down in my calendar just to follow back up to make sure. So yeah, so we're excited to be coming out, and I think it's going to be great. And unfortunately, I have to go do some honeydews. I can hear the wife just pulled in, so it is my night to cook dinner. But once
oh
again,
my
Debbie,
goodness.
if the folks want to come see us that weekend, you will be there, correct?
Yes, sir. I will be there. I'll be in my Spooky Things booth, me with Spooky Things, and a bunch of stuff that I have there. But yes, so I'm very fortunate to be able to meet you that weekend myself. It'll be wonderful meeting you. Um, but like I said, you definitely caught the attention of quite a few people who are very excited about meeting you, and
Well,
they're really going to be excited about you
that's
being there.
always a blessing. It's better to have people excited to meet you than go, oh my God, why is that guy coming?
No, not at all. That's not going to get the reception you're going to have.
So
So,
once again, spooky things with Debbie. If the folks want to come see both of us, where do they have to go to get all the information?
oh, well, you can go to the Deep South Paracomic-Con website, and there you can get the numbers, any to contact whoever, and they can tell you all about the Comic Con. But there's going to be a lot of information on that site already. And the Paracomic Con is August the 9th and 10th. And it's a Friday, or I'm sorry, it's a Saturday and a Sunday. And I believe the opening time is like 10 or 11. I think it's 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. And it runs until about 6, 7, something like that.
That's about
So,
average. That's good. And then you can check them
yeah,
out on Facebook, right? We got a Facebook page. I think there might be an Instagram page. I don't know. It's possible. I definitely know there's a Facebook page.
there's definitely a Facebook page of the Deep South Paracomic Con.
Yep.
And it's very informative. It's got a lot of information on there. It's got pictures. It shows who's going to be there, a little bit of a bio about each person that's going to be there. So it's very informative. It's very, very informative. It's very user friendly. So you can get a lot of information off from there. But, I just want to encourage everybody, come on down, take a look and see what's going on. If you haven't been there yet, you've got to come down and give us a try, because you're going to come down once, you're going to come down again. It is just a lot of fun.
And it's probably the only thing like it in a few hundred, in 100 miles. So, I mean, you get something pretty cool. So, nice place to visit from what I understand. So, it shouldn't be an issue coming down there, even if you got to drive a couple hours. And it's not very often that there's a Leatherface sighting in Alabama. So, we're excited to be there the 9th and 10th of August. So,
we feel very fortunate to say we are going to have Leatherface there. That is just amazing. So I just want to thank you so much for taking your time to come on Spooky Things and to tell us a little bit about you, and to have you helping us to promote our event is just really very, very amazing. And we just want to thank you for that.
no, I'm excited to do it. Yeah, we're going to keep plugging this away, and I'm going to see if I have any friends that I know that live close in the area. Maybe we'll have some surprise visitors over the weekend. You never know.
Oh, that would be amazing. But thank you so very much, Brett, for coming here. And we'll be seeing you at the Deep South Paracomic Con in August.
If you don't come, folks, me and Debbie will come to your house. She will steal all your animals, and I will go through your fridge and take all the food.
That's even worse. But we will do it. We will do it. Thank you so much again, Brett.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay. And everybody out there, we want to reiterate on this, that the Deep South Paracomic Con is August the 9th and the 10th. It's Friday and Saturday. I want you to come on out and have a great time. Bring the babies, bring the little ones, bring the teenagers. Everybody is sure to have a good time. And it's just going to be a very, very enjoyable thing, very interactive. And the kids can meet people who they would normally never really get an opportunity to meet. And then they can see them on TV on a show and go, hey, I met him. And that's really special for these kids. That's really special. So, as I said, August 9th and 10th, Deep South Paracomic Con. We hope to see you there. Thank you guys very much. Bye-bye.